All right, guys. So welcome back, and so this is what we have to serve it. So this is what we just created, right? So as I said, let me just remove all these comments so that you can see the code pretty clearly on the page. And there are a couple of things which I want to mention here before we move on uh, with our code. Is you could see here there are get and post methods in a servlet, right? Which is very much famous because we either handle this request as a get request or the post request, and these are the methods to handle those requests. So we can write our code if it's a post, for example. See here, this is our post method. So by default, the servlet would take it here and process it. So if it's a get method there, then it would be handled in here, right? So there is something called process request. It's another method here, right? So usually it's a best practice to write a servlet wherein you only have the get and the post methods, and you handle that request accordingly. So this is not necessary as such. So what I would be doing is I would be completely removing this piece of code. So why it is still here is that sometimes if you want to handle instead of whatever it is, get or the post, and irrespective of that, you can still handle that request here. Okay, so this here, the method here doesn't really care about whether it's a get to the post request, and it will execute. Okay, so but we don't want that because we know what is our method in here, so we're going to handle it accordingly, right? So let's keep the best practice intact while we manage and handle the servlets and see how it goes. So I'm going to delete everything and I'm going to create do control spacebar to get. So what we have here is the method wherein we're going to handle our request. Okay, so we are gonna create a couple of variables. Sorry, I used ID. And we're gonna create another one which is password. Password. Right? So what next we're gonna do is we're gonna create we're gonna assign the value coming from the form. So how do we do it? We're gonna pass it through request dot get parameter. Okay, sorry for this inconvenience. Okay, so we're gonna pass this user ID. I'm gonna copy and paste. Take this and pass it here. We make it pass. Right. So we can print this. So for that we need print writer class object. Okay, create an object response dot get writer, and then we can do out.println user ID is okay, something like this, and then mention the user ID, and you mention password and say password is. So in servlet we have the capability to print it as HTML, so you will see that as well. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to print it one after the other, or one the other to be precise. So let's try to clean and build and run this and see whether it works. It shouldn't work. I quickly checked already. I did a small mistake, but it's a good one anyway because it will help us learn. Something went wrong. Did you see? So it says the method post is not supported by this URL. Why? Because I did this mistake here. Instead of get, I should be doing is post. Right, so anyway, my mistake is meant to learn something, so I'm happy about it. So let's go and right. So this time, let's see what happens. Ta-da! That's right. So we're able to handle our post request in our servlet's post method, right? And we are getting our user ID and password. So let's continue in our next video. How do we communicate to the database? All right. See you in the next class.